Hi, I'm MV Moran. I'm a local artist here in Eugene, Oregon, and I'm going to be teaching you how to build your own sketchbooks. And just to let you know, I'm super excited to be here, and I'm super excited to teach you how to make your own sketchbook. And I want to also let you know that you can call me Mrs. Moran. So I'm Mrs. Moran, and today we have Monet with us.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. We're going to teach you how to build your sketchbook over the next 3 lessons. We're going to give you lots of ideas of what to put in your sketchbook and lots of full and interesting drawings in your sketchbook.
That is true. And just to let you know, Monet has an amazing sketchbook practice. You do. It's amazing. I'm so impressed. And I work at my sketchbook every day. It takes a lot of work for me to do that, though. I feel like Monet just works just so much easier. Okay, so what we're going to do today, you're welcome. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prepare our minds and our bodies to be ready to create sketchbooks. When I have a studio, and when I go into my studio, I like to call it mindfulness. So I go into the studio and I prepare my mind and body to be ready to draw and paint. And so when I'm in a new space, I like to tell my body, okay, I'm here. Let's do some exercises to remind ourselves that we're going to be painting and drawing today. Some folks call it mindfulness. So I just call it preparing for studio time. So what I do is I sit down. I either sit down crisscross applesauce on the floor, or I sit in a chair and a table. It's in front of me. And I put my hands on the table. And I look around and I make sure that I'm not going to hit anyone or I'm not going to bump into anything, because safety first. So put your hands on the table. Close your eyes. I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do that 3 times. And if you're like, Mrs. Moran, my allergies are a mess, you can just breathe through your mouth. It's okay. Just breathe. I do that 3 times. And then what I do is I kind of sway a little bit. Just sway. I'm not wild and crazy. And I move my shoulders. I open my eyes. I stretch out my hands and I wiggle my fingers. And sometimes my hands are really kind of hurting from a long day of drawing the day before. I really stretch out my fingers. I did this when I played the piano when I was a kid. My piano teacher taught me this, and it really works. I also do something like touch each finger with my thumb, I should say. And then I wiggle my fingers, and then I do some shoulder shrugs. Now, what do you call these?
Shoulder rolls sometimes?
That's right, shoulder rolls. And then I just do a little twist. My body and my mind know it's time to get into the studio. I am raring to go. Now, for this one, we're building a basic sketchbook. So for this one, all you need is super easy. Copy paper and Moni, would you hand me copy paper? Oh, yes. Copy paper and a stapler. That's all you need. That's it. So
how many pieces do you need?
I need 10 pieces of copy paper.
Okay,
thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. You count those out. So, but to make it even better, what I do is I have a ruler with me. And my ruler here, I'm going to show you right here in front of me. I have inches and centimeters. When I was in school, I learned inches. I'm now learning about centimeters. And one reason I'm learning about this, is that 10? Thank you, is I went to Australia or somewhere, and I didn't know what was going on. So we were driving, it was all in kilometers. I didn't know where I was going. So I thought, I need to learn the metric system. So I'm working on that. It's taking me a little bit of time, but that's okay. So what you do is you take your ruler, take your copy paper. Monet gave me 10 pieces of copy paper. This is kind of important because the thicker you make your sketchbook, it's harder to hole punch or harder to staple. So 10 seems to be just right. Monet, would you mind handing me the stapler over to your right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. So for my copy paper sketchbook, I just take 10 pieces, stack it up, make sure everything is nice and even. I take my ruler and I measure about, let's see, 2 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. And why I do this is I want my sketchbook to open up like a book. If you get too close to the top or too close to the bottom, it will not open correctly. And that's a bummer. Now, for those who are like, Mrs. Moran, we need to use the metric system. That is great. I also did it that way. And when I came up with the metric system is at 5 centimeter. Oh, about 15 and a half centimeter and 23 centimeter because this long side is 28 centimeters. So that works out pretty well. So then I take and I go, you go, Mrs. Moran, you have a mark here. What are you going to do? I'm not going to do anything. This is just a gauge for me to put my staples and I can just incorporate it to my decoration as I cover my sketchbook. So then I go over here and I go, well, I want it to open like a book, so I don't want my staples in the middle. I think I want it about, I'm going to use centimeters, 1 centimeter. So I go, okay, I'm going to staple about right there, and right there. And as you can see, I do not worry about erasing. My pencil doesn't even have an eraser on it. So I'm like, okay, that looks really good. So I'm gonna take my paper, and you can even have, if you have a buddy with you, your buddy could staple for you because sometimes staplers are not super easy to use. This one seems pretty darn good. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon, Monet. Okay, so I have it stapled, and then what I do is I open up each page and make a crease. Why I do this is because you want it to open like a book. Trust me on this one. I have had plenty of sketchbooks that do not open like a book, and then I am super sad. I take every page and do it, but we don't really have time. I can do that later today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Monet, would you mind handing me a couple of sketchbooks? I'm going to show.
Yes.
I'm going to show them first just the copy paper sketchbook.
It's this one, right?
Yes, it's that one. So here is the copy paper sketchbook. I'm going to put it flat here for you. As you can see, I have my staples. It opens like a book. Uh-oh, I found my orange. Oh, and some triangles. And then I covered it with my name, Mrs. Moran. Apparently I like my name because look, MV Moran on the back. And I decorated with pen and ink, or some people say markers. But I will tell you, this paper is pretty thin. So if you are going to use a marker, definitely put a piece of paper in between the 2 pages. Will you have me a piece of paper and I'll demonstrate?
Yeah.
So what you do is you go right in there, and then this is, you just keep this in your sketchbook, and whenever you use marker, you just put them between the pages, and that way the ink doesn't go through to the other pages. Because even when I was a little kid, it bummed me out when my markers would go through. And my grandma taught me that trick. My grandma's like, why don't you put a piece of paper between the paper? And I was like, what? So it was amazing. So this changed my life, and hopefully it will you too. So I am ready to draw anytime. You can draw with crayons, markers, as long as you have an extra piece of paper, colored pencils, or just regular, what we call graphite pencils. Some people call them lead. They're not. It's just graphite. And as you can see, I do not have any erasers. Nope, none. All right. So some folks are like, Mrs. Moran, this sketchbook is way too big. Monet has a solution for you.
I do.
Yes.
All right. I will help us make a travel size sketchbook. Okay, first I'm going to need 5 pieces of paper.
Oh, I could have got that out for you, Mom. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's half the paper you needed.
Yeah, it is half. So with the same amount of paper, you could make 2. Here, I'll get this out of your way. I apologize.
It's okay. So I have 5 pieces here. And I'm going to fold it in half. Is this long ways or is this
Yes.
short ways?
You're folding it.
Do we stump ourselves?
It's long way to long way.
Yes, that's what we're
Yes.
doing here.
So yeah, because see, look, the paper is, oh, I'm going to do inches because I get confused with the metric system. So it's 11 inches. So you take the long side to the long side. Yes, 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 yes.
All right. And then we will staple it on the long side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do what you did too, do inches as well as centimeters.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. So we got 2, 4, and 6 is where we're going to put it.
2, 4, and 6.
Because it's about 8.5.
8.5 inches. So 2 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch. Got it. 2 inch, 4 inch. Great.
Great. And if you are wanting to use centimeters today,
Oh.
you do 5, 10, and 15.
Oh, now I see how easy the metric system is.
Sometimes.
That makes sense to me now.
All right.
Do you do something about this bubble here? I feel like it's too bouncy.
Oh, yeah, it is kind of bouncy. You know what I like? I like to take something plastic, like a marker, hardened plastic, and just run it.
Oh,
That really makes the
Is it too
crease.
hard with the hands?
I think so.
Oh,
It just seems to help the crease.
okay. Would you like me to staple for you?
Sure.
Okay, because I feel like the stapler. You want to hold it and I'll staple?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you just guessed where I'm going to staple, right?
I did.
We did. Yeah. It's
We
okay.
didn't measure on this one.
That's okay. I think the more you make these, the more you realize what you like without even measuring half the time.
Yes, that is true. And I will fold at least this first page to help it get the crease that we want, so it opens like a book. And then something I like to do with all my sketchbooks is put my name, like we said, but on the inside page, actually I'll use it.
Oh, you don't put it on the cover?
I at least do this first, so that way I don't forget. I'll write my name, but I also really like to write at least the month. Is it still April?
It is.
And the year.
Oh,
That way I can look back and remember what I was drawing then.
great, because this is how you keep yourself organized and see how your work changes.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea because I have these sketchbooks. I'm like, I wonder when I drew this. That's a great idea. Okay. Thanks, Moni. Do you want to
Yeah.
show them your travel size sketchbook?
I really do.
Okay. It should be there. If not, I'll show it next time.
I know I just saw it.
I did too.
Hmm.
It's Monday.
It is a Monday.
It's very Monday. That's okay. When you find it, just hand it to me.
Okay.
So, will you show them my Mod Podge sketchbook, my twine sketchbook?
this one?
Mhm.
This one's awesome.
So, there's all kinds of sketchbooks you can make. This one I call my Mod Podge just because I took a piece of copy paper and then I took a newspaper and tore it up. I took the section where the weather is happening. I thought it was I was like, oh, weather every day, all day long. So, and then I used a marker to write my name. Again, I love my name apparently. And then on the back, I just used a regular piece of copy paper. Will you show them my fancy paper one? Yep, that one right there. I also made one with fancy paper. So this paper was used as a Mother's Day gift last year for me. And I just loved this paper so much that I kept it around. And then I made a sketchbook out of it. And I just, then I covered it with blue tape. It's painter's tape. But yeah, I really love this one because it's a little bit thicker. And I'm going to show you how to make a little bit thicker paper sketchbook with twine. So I'm combining both of these. It's going to be super fun. So first of all, you need to find some fancy paper. It can be pretty much any kind of wrapping paper. So this was given to me, this paper wrapped in a gift. And I was like, oh, I love this. I think I'm going to draw a picture of myself on this fancy paper. And I think it's going to be a great drawing. Well, I really didn't like it that much. The drawing's fine, but it just wasn't working. It wasn't enough contrast. It was hard to see the drawing. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to make a sketchbook out of it. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So what you do is you take, will you hand me the 2 other bags for me?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, that one and the other one.
This one?
Yep. Cool. So take your paper, your fancy paper, and just glue a piece of copy paper on it. And I gave myself plenty of room because sometimes I feel like I don't cut things out if I don't have enough room. If it's really too close to the edge, I have a really hard time cutting things out. So I glue a piece of copy paper to fancy paper. I let it dry. And you can just use a glue stick. There's nothing fancy here, just a glue stick. And then what I do is I'm going to set that one aside and I'll show you the 2 that I cut out. So I have 2 pieces of paper, fancy paper, glued to copy paper. If I put them together like this, I go, okay, this is my front and my back. Oh, but I want this to be my front. Okay, so this is my front and my back. I'm going to have my own portrait on my own sketchbook. I was going to give it to you, Mo, but I think I might keep it. Will you hand me the big hole punch?
Oh, yeah.
What you need is a hole punch, but this one is the world's worst hole punch. But I wanted to show you what they look like.
You may have
terrible.
one at home.
Oh,
Mine at home works really well. I should have brought it.
you should have. This one was in my office. I've had it for a million years. It's not working very well. So this was in my office. And I said, oh, this works out great. I already have this set up to be spaced out perfectly for a sketchbook. So what I do is I just take each paper and I hole punch this side. And would you happen to get me 8 pieces of of copy paper for my sketchbook? And I just hole punch. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, this side. Okay, I take that. I make sure they match up perfectly. They do, because this is a really good hole punch. Thanks, Monet.
Yeah.
And then I hole punch 8 pieces. I can't do more than 8 pieces because I'm not strong enough. That's why I said 8. If I were stronger, I could probably do more, but I can't. And it's okay.
10.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do 8 or 7, so, make a really big one. But I think once they get too thick, I don't know.
You want to fold it like that book.
Exactly.
Stop us from
I
it.
don't want anything to stop me. So then I take about, I don't know, whatever, 6 inches of string. I always take too much, but it's okay. And I just wrap my string around here like 4 times. I'm not even kidding you. And usually I have Monet hold the book for me because it's not the easiest. So sometimes it's really fun to have a buddy with you because then they can help you. So I just wrap it around 4 times. I tie it. And you know what else I do? I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm not going to do all of them because it's so time consuming. Maybe 3 times is fine for this one. Because we have to get back to schoolwork, other schoolwork. So then I tie those. And then when I have these all tied up, I take a little glue and I just go like this.
Oh.
I let it dry almost for like 4 hours. I'm not even kidding you.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I turn it over and I do the other side for another. So I won't be using this sketchbook till the end of the day.
Oh, okay.
But look how cool that is. It has my portrait on here. And then I might even put my name up here later. Or I definitely put my name here at least. Okay.
And the date?
Yes. I'm going to start doing that. It's a good idea. Thank you. Okay. You have your sketchbook done. You're like, Mrs. Moran, my sketchbook's done. I don't know what to draw. That's okay. We will be talking about what to draw these next 3 sessions. Monet will be back. Monet, you're here for the 1st and 3rd sessions.
That's right.
Okay. But I'm going to be back showing you giving you ideas what to draw. You never need to copy me. But I will tell you something today. I love to do warm-ups in my sketchbook. So get your sketchbook, grab crayons or colored pencils. I'm going to take crayons. And I have a warm-up, Monet. Where's my warm-up with my ang on there, right there? Can you hand it to me? So what I do is I warm up every time I get my sketchbook out. I take my crayons, and some of you might feel really overwhelmed, like, Mrs. Moran, there's 24 colors in here. I don't even know how to begin. Well, for this one, I want you to start with your primary colors. Blue, yellow, and red. And as you can see, I have used these crayons quite a bit. And when I call them primary colors, it's because it's based on the what, Monet?
The color wheel.
The color wheel.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the students about the color wheel?
Yeah. Here's an example of the color wheel. We have it right here. Color theory is based off of this color wheel. There are 12 hues or colors. And it's based off of our primary colors. So the red, blue, and the yellow. And after that, we have secondary. It's green, violet, and orange. And then we have the tertiary, or I guess now we're calling it intermediate. Right. I still say tertiary, but I still use inches. So tertiary are the ones in between. So we have yellow, orange, blue, violet, blue, green, yellow, green, red, orange,
and red, violet.
And red, violet.
Awesome. So the color wheel was developed by
Sir Isaac Newton.
What year?
1666.
A long time ago, and this still works. So you know this is good stuff. This is great stuff. So when I say the primary colors, I'm saying red, blue, and yellow, because all colors are made from these primary colors. You can't make red on its own. You can't make yellow on its own. You can't make blue on its own. These are primary. These are foundational colors. And you're going to learn a lot about color theory in art school. I had to make a color wheel. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I did too. They're still doing that. So what I do is I take yellow, blue, and red, and I draw triangles, circles, and different geometric shapes. Some of you are going to go, Mrs. Moran, that's boring. I'm going to say no, it's super fun, because look at my triangle. It's super big. It is really taking up space in my sketchbook. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I put circles all over the place just to warm up. Then for some of you who love poetry or journaling, you can write in your sketchbook. You can practice your handwriting, your penmanship, your spelling. So for me, what I decided, I'm not a big journaler and I don't know how to write poetry very well. So sometimes I write in my sketchbook how I'm feeling. Like today I wrote, I'm really excited about teaching class today. So for some of you, you're going to be like, I don't like to write, just practice. So I went and found this awesome quote by the artist Ang. He was a painter in the 19th century. I believe he was a neoclassicist, if I remember off the top of my head. He said, and he wrote this in his journal, to create a painter, make a drawing school. Do you know what that means?
I think I get it, but if you enlighten me?
Yeah, what he's saying is if you want to paint, you have to know how to draw.
Oh, you got to go to the basics.
You got to go to the basics. And color theory and drawing triangles and circles and squares is the foundation of all art. Based on painting and drawing.
Yeah.
Not all art, like performance or So this is exciting stuff. We are learning so much today. I can't even believe it. So what I want you to do, take your sketchbook. Oh, see, I already started. Oh man, I got all kinds of stuff going on in here. See, I have been drawing in my sketchbook every single day, Monet. I have been just really, I have so much. This is I have one. No, I don't even have one. I guess I have to use this one. Oh my goodness. Wow. I have just been drawing away. So go ahead and make a triangle, rectangle, and circle. Make them all over the place, different colors. It doesn't matter if they are perfect. I don't want any erasing. Please do not erase, because if you erase, you never make anything. Have you met people who are like, I'm going to draw today, and no drawing because they were erasing all day? So that's what you're going to do. And then go ahead and put something in your sketchbook about your feelings, a quote, a poem, whatever you like. I'm going to write in here I am thankful for Monet.
Hmm.
That's what I'm going to write. You can write whatever you like, how you're feeling. Monet, guess what?
What?
Time is up.
Really? Wow. That went by so fast.
Too fast. So I just want to recap what we've learned today. We've learned how to make a copy paper sketchbook. Did you find your travel size sketchbook?
I did. Should I share real quick?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my travel size sketchbook. I'll put it down here too. It's really nice to take anywhere you go. I like to take it on the bus if I'm riding the bus, if I'm waiting for an appointment, just about anywhere.
True. Monet has a great sketchbook practice. Travel one, and then we learned how to make a twine, a heavy duty, fancy twine sketchbook. We talked about the color wheel. We talked about primary colors. We'll go over secondary and tertiary colors the rest of the week. We'll also talk about texture. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
I'm excited for lesson 3.
I'm excited to see you again in lesson 3, but I will tell you, lesson 4.
Am I missing out?
Oh, you're missing out. It's super fun. It's one of the funnest ones. Okay, see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here, Monet.
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
All right. Is that it? Are we saying bye?
Or we'll say bye. Should we wave?
Yeah.
Bye.